And also, I mean, now, if you were a little bit shaken by the previous game's decisions, now you have to win 3 straight with the Hunter. It feels pretty brutal. Do you think you hold on to this tracking here? Probably.
I personally always tend to keep tracking.
Yep.
As a hunter, even if I'm playing a face hunter, just because it improves your card quality so much. So it looks to me like he's keeping his entire hand. I don't disagree with this.
Okay.
Bow is really important to this matchup, and he's seen a lot of StrifeCro's deck at this point. I think you can assume that there's just not that many taunts left. So this bow, very likely to get in 9 points of damage, and wow, this tracking is brutal.
Oh my god.
This animal
you need all 3 of those cards, man.
Oh my gosh.
It's like discarding 2 of your best cards in the game, and it looks like he's just going to take an animal companion, but losing to Leroy, man, that's heartbreaking when you know you have to win 3 straight.
Yeah.
And you just discarded 2 animal companions on turn 1. Like what? That's terrible.
StrifeCro's draw though not the greatest at the moment. Big Game Hunter's not pulling a lot of weight in this matchup. And other than that, his hand's pretty heavy. You saw him draw another copy of Savage Roar. And he's got this Ancient of Lore in his hand, but that's not coming down for a long time. No Innervate Azure Drake into the hand instead. So if you're StrifeCro here, do you play this Big Game Hunter and try to start forcing damage, or do you just keep hero powering and passing and relying on your natural curve?
I mean, I feel like playing the Big Game Hunter early isn't bad, just because we've seen how effective these annoying little 2 HP minions can be in some of these matchups. It's like, sometimes they just do not have a proper way to deal with it, and they're just forced into this situation where they're just sitting there and just taking damage after damage after damage. But at the same time, coining out the Yeti next turn has a lot of merit as well. So, hero power into coin Yeti is pretty decent, but I really could not hate on a coin Big Game Hunter here. I think it's a pretty solid play.
Yeah, so a lot of considerations going forward. He has no turn 3 play if he uses this coin now, but he doesn't have a turn 2 play if he doesn't use this coin. And I think what's going to influence his decision most is he's going to play this Big Game Hunter on curve likely, and then he's going to follow that up with a Chillwind Yeti and an Azure Drake and look forward to turn 6 Ancient of Lore. So now if you're in Alchemixt spot, you feel good. Your opponent hasn't innervated.
Yep.
They didn't have a 2-drop either. This bow likely to do a lot of work in this matchup, and even something as simple as Snipe can,
especially with 3 traps already in hand.
Right, so something as simple as Snipe can really put a lot of pressure, because if StrifeCro's forced to taunt up, 4 damage right away is going to that taunt.
Yeah, plus that in combination with the explosive trap, that takes out a Druid of the Fog taunt right there.
Right, I'm a little interested that he doesn't swing with this bow.
Yeah.
And I think the impression that he may be trying to give is that
he has no traps.
Right, is that he doesn't have a trap in his hand, so he wants to save these bow charges. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Big Game Hunter come down right here, and that's going to put the ball in Alchemix's court, because now it's like, which trap does he use? He's got all of his options available to him, and he's going to start pushing through a lot of damage with that bow afterwards.
Yeah, it could be interesting. I mean, I think there's a lot to be said for the different ones. Misdirect can be extremely powerful when there's multiple, minions of your opponent on the board as well, because that can not only kill the minion, plus sometimes kill a second minion. So I feel like it's probably going to be the explosive trap as the answer, just because guaranteed kills this off. And really, what other 2 HP minions does he even have?
Right.
So I mean, I feel like it's explosive trap, hero power, bow to the face, and that looks like it is going to be what he does. Just because, really, what else are you going to use the explosive trap where it's going to be more effective? I just don't see anywhere. I'm really surprised if he doesn't bow to the face here.
Wow.
Why do you think he's saving up those charges? This seems so weird to me, because he has 3 traps, man. He has to start hitting the face. He's using these charges.
I don't know. Maybe just be a tilt factor sort of coming into effect here. I'm so surprised he doesn't attack here. Maybe he's trying to encourage his opponent to attack into the trap.
I just don't get it, man.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
That's like, I just don't understand, because at the same time, it's like eventually, I mean, he doesn't know everything that's in StrifeCro's deck. And, if taunts start coming out, then the bows are becoming a lot less effective. So it's one of those situations where it's pretty awkward. And I mean, he has 3 bow charges now. I mean, now does he start attacking? When do you start attacking?
This is a good question now, because if he didn't attack last turn, like, is he going to attack this Harvest Golem? I don't know. I don't understand the line of play. I think it's just strictly a mistake to not attack. This might just be like a fancy play syndrome coming out here.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, man.
Snipe actually is going to do some work, though, because the first thing you're going to see is you're going to see this Harvest Golem attack. Yeah. And then StrifeCro is going to be really confused when nothing triggers here.
But if he's onto it, man, he plays the Chillwind Yeti. Snipe doesn't kill it. If he plays the Azure Drake, then that's a little bit of a sad story.
Yeah, and knowing StrifeCro, again, he likes to play on curve a lot. So
if he plays the Azure Drake,
and there's the confusion. You could just feel it. He's just like, what on earth just happened? So like you said, reading into this, he may play Chillwind Yeti.
I think you have to. I mean, I think this is, it's not Stake Trap. I think you have to be able to figure this out. And I think playing the Chillwind Yeti is pretty straightforward. If you play the Azure Drake, hey, you got the card draw, but and you're playing on curve, like you said. But I mean, do you really think it's gonna be a snake trap?
I don't think it would be snake trap. It's really hard to
No
put
one
snake
plays
trap in
snake
my
trap.
opponent's range ever.
Yeah, he knows what it is. He's playing
Right.
the Yeti. He figured it out.
So
And
this isn't a bad thing for Alchemixt though, because now his Unleash is a very clean clear if he wants to use it. But it's sort of in the same vein. He's still got this third charge on this
Yeah.
bow. I don't like is he going to find time to use this?
that's kind of what I was getting at earlier. It's like he has another trap to play, and he now needs 4 turns to hit the face with the bow. And
Right.
He could have started 2 turns earlier. So interesting. Just gonna drop that down. And okay, I mean, there's a couple options here.
StrifeCro's got a difficult spot now. There's a lot of pressure being put on him, and he doesn't have a lot of options.
Now, I mean, if this was me, I would probably be inclined to just hero power the face. But at the same time, it's like if you do that and you hit your 4/1, you kill the 4/1, and the 4/1 does 4 damage to you. But if you attack with the Yeti, it's gonna die guaranteed, or at least it's guaranteed to do damage to you, and you lose its 4 damage attack this turn. Like
Right.
I don't know. Do you feel like there's one that's clearly better than the others? I mean, if it was me, I probably would be attacking with that.
Yeah, I agree. So this misdirection, pretty crucial here.
Ooh, oh, that's good for him.
I'm pretty sure it's good. He needs to start pushing through damage because he's just not going to really win a race at this point. But
imagine he had used the 2 bow charges earlier. Think about that. He could have had him at 8 HP right now.
Yeah.
If he was using the bow every turn, 8 HP. He has Leroy and a kill command next turn. That's game.
Yeah.
So the game would already be over.
StrifeCro is taking a very aggressive stance here. This play, by the way, he's playing for Innervate in
Yeah.
this spot right now. So if he draws Innervate, he's actually going to be able to win the game. But
I mean, he could unleash Timberwolf.
this Unleash,
Kill
by the way,
command.
being increased to 3, showing Riri gets ugly head again here.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he'd have lethal.
Yeah.
He'd be looking at 14, 17 points of damage. But
Still,
as you
though,
said earlier, if he'd attacked with this bow, this
The
would
game
be
would already
this
be
turn.
over.
Yeah,
Game would
right.
be done.
He's just in this instance, if StrifeCro draws an Innervate and he fails to clear this board out, there's a possibility that StrifeCro wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really confused by the lack of using the bow, but we'll see what he does here. I mean, I feel like Unleash Timberwolf kill command isn't bad, but the question is just do you go face or not? And I mean, that's you can do 6, you can do 5, so that's 11. Actually, wait, 11, and he does 3 from his bow, so he does 14. He's 1 damage short.
Right.
So I mean, still, you do that, and then you kill him next turn with a steady shot. Or
It looks
I mean,
to me
you could Leroy Unleash. How much does that do? That's just 9. So I mean, maybe just considering clearing. I feel like this is kind of weird, man. I feel like he's just waiting so long. Okay, so he's going to just quick win now. But why? Like, when are you going to have a better time to use Unleash?
I think he's just waiting for this turn. Like, if he
Just
say he draws like
Leroy
Hunter's
next
Mark
turn?
next turn and he
Doesn't
taunts up,
matter.
he can use Leroy. And then also just Leroy Unleash next turn, even if he does taunt up, the
Yep.
Leroy can punch through the taunt. So
Makes sense.
I think a really good setup here from this, but again, the not attack with the bow earlier is really what's getting me. So this is going to be game over to Alchemixt.
Yep.
He's going to pick up his first game off of StrifeCro now on the back of Leroy Jenkins. And the rest is kind of history from here. The Hunter deck getting work done. And a little bit of a poor draw from StrifeCro. But, that's the way the game rolls sometimes.
But at the same time, StrifeCro, it's not like he has a lot of taunts and anything to really draw into either. I mean,
Right.
he does have his Druid of Claws, but it's not like he's sitting there with Sunwalker's Druid of Claws, the 5/10 taunts. He's not sitting with a deck chock full of taunts. And Alchemist is going to be able to pick up that game. Still kind of a head scratcher with the bow. I really would be curious to pick his brain a little bit about that and hear what his explanation was, because I'm sure he has one. It's not like he's just arbitrarily